Hi everyone! Welcome back to another Animal Crossing New Horizons video. So it's been over a year since New Horizons was released, and as much as I love and adore this game, there's quite a few things missing from previous titles, and there's plenty of things I'd personally love to see added into the game. So in today's video we're going to be looking at my top 10 things I'd like to see added into Animal Crossing New Horizons. So let's go! Number 10. Quality of Life Update. So I've seen quite a few people talking about this, and I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos you can go watch by typing in Animal Crossing Quality of Life Update. People have made these really amazing pictures and videos of what it would look like if they just improved so many tiny things in the game. Because when you're playing New Horizons, I'm sure most of the time you're just chilling out and having a nice time, but have you ever found yourself mashing the A button over and over, having to walk in and out of the dressing room just to buy 2 different colour t-shirts, skipping through 10 minutes of Chip Jr. telling you he's a live streamer? Why is this menu so long? They seriously need to fix this. I have to talk to Chip like 5 times to actually get what I want.
Whoa, thanks. Also, make sure the call is clear if you want to...
I know! You just said that! Why?
You better stop!
I'm reading through repetitive and pointless dodo dialogue. I got a Mayday ticket from Tom Nook with Lulu written on it, which makes it yours. By the way, I got a Mayday ticket with your name on it behind the desk here, so take advantage of... I know! You just told me! I'm sorry to just get randomly angry, but they just say the most pointless things. Like, he just said that to me. He just said that I have a Mayday ticket, but he's just said it again. Why? Why?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
And doesn't it just make you want to scream? I'd love to see an Animal Crossing update where the menus were made simpler and easier to navigate, the dodos were made less repetitive, you were able to buy multiple different colored clothing items at once, and it would just make playing the game so much less tiring and irritating, and I'm sure a lot of other players out there would love to see this added too. I won't go into too much detail on this one because I think there's plenty of posts and YouTube videos out there you can go watch about all the different things they can add just to make the quality of life on your island so much better. And there's just so many little things like this with the menus and the talking to the dodos and different characters that could be made so much quicker and easier for the player, and especially when terraforming and crafting and things like that. We can't even craft multiple things at once, which is a big one I think that should be added into the game. Number 9. Shop upgrades. In previous Animal Crossing titles, one of the main driving factors of playing the game and spending bells and collecting things wasn't actually to have an aesthetic and beautiful town, it was to have your home and shop upgraded. If you weren't aware, in previous Animal Crossing games, Nook's Cranny was the original shop that you start with, and as you progress through life in your town and spend more money at the shop, Tom Nook is able to save up all the money he's earned to put towards a shop upgrade. First it's the little Nook's Cranny Shack, and then it's Nook and Go, a more upgraded corner shop. After that it's Nookway, and finally it's Nookington's, a huge shopping centre which will come with a hairdresser's in Wild World and a garden centre in New Leaf. Both versions had a designer shop called Gracie Grace upstairs too, run by, of course, Gracie the giraffe. In New Horizons we start off with a little tent which then turns into Nook's Cranny, and after all our hard work and money spent at the shop, it never upgrades. Timmy and Tommy keep their shop the same no matter how much work we do in the town, so there's no real reward for spending money at the shop. And I do love Nook's Cranny, and I'm so glad it's in this game, and I think the design of the shop is really cute, but I just really love to see some Nook's Cranny upgrades like in previous games. I think it would make it much easier to include so many different characters and shops in one space this way as well, because we could have Gracie and Leaf, maybe even Harriet, all come and join in this big shopping centre. And I just think this would be a wonderful way to include characters from previous games and give us more incentive to buy things from the shop and reward the players for spending so much time on this game. Number 8. More home customization. I think we're all pretty much happy with the house customization in New Horizons. It doesn't really have any issues. I mean, we can have pink walls, we can move our mailbox, which is a whole new thing, and all of that is really great, but I feel like we had much more freedom and more customization options in New Leaf. We could have mermaid and Japanese style houses. It was amazing, and I miss these options. Not only that, but I would love to see the option to pick and choose the size of our rooms, because at the moment we can't get a basement or an upstairs room without fully upgrading all our rooms to the biggest they can be downstairs. Some people want their main room to be really small and want maybe their right room to be huge, and it's our house, so I think we should have the option to choose what size rooms we want. It would give us more reason to play every day because we would have to save up bells to pay Tom Nook for the renovations, and I think it would just make our houses feel a lot more like a home. What do you guys think? Number 7. More Nookmar Rewards. When you first start playing New Horizons, you have quite a big motivation for saving up Nookmars because you can spend them in your catalogue on all these cool Nookmar Rewards. But after a few weeks of playing the game, you'll most likely already have everything out of your catalogue. And even worse is that our Nookmar items are actually colour locked, so we're not able to ever get certain colours without trading with people online, which I honestly think is super unfair. I don't think any part of the game should be locked off to people that aren't able to afford Nintendo Online. I just think that doesn't seem like Animal Crossing at all, and we should all have access to the same amount of furniture. I think it was done to encourage us to trade with friends, but not everyone even has friends that play the same game as them, and it's really unfair, I think, to lock furniture off to us to try and make us pay for Nintendo Switch Online. It doesn't feel right to me. And at the moment, all we have to spend Nookmars on is visiting islands, which if you're not specifically going to villager hunt is kind of pointless, especially because they removed all of the magical hybrid flower islands that we had when the game first released, which still again is another thing that doesn't make any sense to me. I would love to see them add a ton more things for us to unlock with the system, even if they just brought back the hybrid flower islands, or they just made it so that we could spend our miles on unlocking the different colour options. I think anything would be better than what we have at this point. Number 6. Celeste Observatory. Ah, Celeste, she's the cutest, sweetest little owl. In New Horizons, she comes to visit your island on random days when there's a meteor shower. She'll give you DIY recipes for adorable space and zodiac-themed items. However, in previous games, she had her own observatory in the top of the museum. It was such a cozy, calming, and lovely place to be in the game. She could chat to you about the stars, and you could even make your own constellations in the sky for you to view by yourself or with your friends. It gave everyone's town something super individual and unique, and I would love if Celeste was given an upgrade in New Horizons. Maybe after you've collected all the zodiac or space DIY recipes, she could talk about how often she comes to visit the island to see the stars, and how she'd love to stay here permanently with her own observatory. Then there could be a museum upgrade that you have to pay for, and she could always be on our island to visit up there. She could even still be found wandering around the island on days when there's meteor showers. I would honestly just love to see her lovely observatory come back, because it was such a magical and special part of the previous games, and I'd also just love to see Celeste back with her big brother, because they're so cute together and I don't want them to be apart anymore. Number 5. Improved villager interaction. So I've spoken about this many times on my channel, so I'll try not to go into this too much. I think other people can explain it better than I can. I've already suggested this video before, but you should really go watch Tamahiroka's video about the villager differences in previous games compared to New Horizons, but I'll speak a bit about this anyway. The villagers in New Horizons are so very watered down compared to previous games that it breaks my heart. In previous games, villagers would be a lot more cruel to you, especially the cranky and snooty ones, and it always had me cracking up laughing. I do understand why they removed this for younger players that maybe found it insulting or made them cry, and it does make sense for Nintendo to remove the cruel messages the villagers used to say, although I personally love them. But even in my City Folk Let's Play, we had so much more fun speaking to our villagers, and it made the island feel so much more alive, and you'd make genuine connections with your villagers, even when they were only there for a short time. Now in New Horizons, the villagers' conversations are okay, and that's only if you speak to them like 7 times after they've repeated the same boring, pointless dialogue about the weather, your clothes, or how you've spoken to them too many times that day. Not only that, but there's nothing to do with them. In New Leaf, your villagers would ask you to come hang out at their house, or they'd just randomly turn up at yours and ask for a tour. In previous games, we even had the flea market, where you could visit your villagers' homes and buy things from them, and they could visit yours and buy things from you. In City Folk, Ruby would run up to me and say, "Let's play hide and seek," and we'd spend the next 20 minutes playing and running around on the island. Just wander around the town for now. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see that? That actually made me jump. Did she really? Did she really hide right behind the town hall? Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Lucky, that's not even hiding at this point. I can just see you. There's not. But in New Horizons, Ruby comes up to me and says, "I've been playing solo hide and seek today. I'm so bored," and then sighs. That's literally a piece of dialogue they put into the game, knowing full well we had the option to play with them in old games. If you have villagers of all the same personality type, it's highly likely you won't get any unique conversations that day, and it's so heartbreaking. In previous games, I could have many different villagers of the same personality type, and I always had unique conversations. They always felt unique to me, and I always just enjoyed speaking to them and being with them. It's extremely heartbreaking, especially for long-time players of the series, and I think the game would just be massively improved just by adding some things for the villagers to say, and just some more things for us to do with them. Exactly, Archie. Okay, so this one isn't actually part of my official top 10 list, but I was just thinking about it while editing, and I thought I would include this as well because this is just something else I think that they should really include in the game, and that's more special events. There were some new events added into New Horizons, like May Day, Museum Day, and the Wedding event, which are all honestly very fun and lovely events. But we still have quite a few events missing from the game that I'd love to see return from previous games. April Fool's Day with Blanca, the Acorn Festival with Cornema, even small things like morning aerobics from the original GameCube game, I'd love to see return in New Horizons. In Wild World there was even Lardy Day, and just really little simple events like that where the villagers would all compliment each other that day and sing songs and things like that. It was so wonderful. So let me know in the comments what special events you'd like to see return. Number 4, Happy Home Designer Update. So this is the one thing I think that all players, new and old, would be incredibly excited for. Happy Home Designer was an Animal Crossing spin-off game for the 3DS. It introduced a new character, Lottie, and we were given massive upgrades when it came to decorating, and it made it so much easier. We were given the easier way of decorating where you simply click and drag items, and this was then included in New Leaf and New Horizons too, but only for indoor decorating for some reason. Lottie has since appeared in Pocket Camp, but not yet in New Horizons. As much as I love that each villager's house is unique to them, sometimes the design decisions Nintendo made in this game really didn't feel right for the characters. I've also seen some pictures of hacked islands where people have customized the appearance of their villagers' homes on the outside so that it better fits in with their island. I'd love to have this option in the game, not only for the house exterior but for the interior too. If you haven't watched my previous video where I spoke about the villagers' house interiors in Animal Crossing New Horizons, you should by the way, I actually showcased many villagers' homes that interior designs were changed massively from previous games or were just, in my opinion, super awful. So go check that video out if you haven't watched it already. But honestly, I think it would just be so great to bring Lottie back into the game, especially because New Horizons is very focused on decorating now, so I think Lottie would fit in with this game so well and the players would love her. I know the new players would adore her, and I know for sure the old players love her too, so I would just love to see her return and help players decorate their villagers' homes for them. Maybe she could even come back and help us terraform easier. Number 3, Brewsters Coffee Shop. Okay, I think everyone was expecting this one. Under almost every New Horizons update tweet and every single trailer, you're bound to find at least one response mentioning this. But seriously, Brewster and his coffee shop are such a special and important part of Animal Crossing, and it just doesn't feel the same without him. I think the Roost and Brewster really embody the whole feeling and message of classic Animal Crossing, being a place where you can just spend a few minutes to relax and take things slow, and you could even meet NPCs there and chat to them about their day, learn about their backstories, and New Leaf even introduced the option to have a part-time job at the Roost and serve coffee for all your villagers. It was so much fun. It had me coming back to the game every single day just because I loved working at the coffee shop and giving all my favourite characters their coffee. But in New Horizons, Brewster is nowhere to be seen, even after this long. I think many players are just getting quite impatient at this point, and we really just want to see him return so we can all relax together again and just drink a warm cup of coffee. Number 2, Talatoma Island. How has it been over a year of an island-themed Animal Crossing game, and we still don't have the multiplayer island or island-themed characters? I'm still so surprised by this. If you weren't aware, Talatoma Island was an island added into the Animal Crossing games in New Leaf. Although we did previously have an island we could visit in the original Animal Crossing game, this one added so many more multiplayer options. We could go there by using Capin's boat, and on the island, Capin lived there with his wife, his mum, and his little girl. You could buy special island items there, and it was always summer, so it was a great place to catch bugs and fish to sell. Not only that, but this island had the option to play tons of different mini games, hitting things with a hammer, planting flowers, collecting fruit, catching fish. It was so much fun, and what made it even better was that we could do all of this online with random players or with our friends. Right now in New Horizons, there's literally nothing for us to do when we play with friends, and it would be a huge improvement adding this into the game. I honestly think it would bring a lot of players back who have left the game, since we would have so much more reason to play together again. And finally, number 1, bring back old NPCs. So when New Horizons first released, I was aware that some characters weren't in the game, but I thought for sure these characters would be added over time. In previous Animal Crossing games, we had a huge array of characters. Even when we lost a few over time, we were given so many more interesting characters to brighten things up. To me, these characters are so special and really are the entire heart of the game. They're all so unique, so much fun to talk to and see. They all have such different designs and purposes and backstories, and they're like our friends. However, in New Horizons, all these characters are just gone, nowhere to be seen. Sure, we got some new characters, but hardly any of them have any sort of personality, or if they do have one, I don't personally find them very likable at all. And to me, I don't want to see 4 new characters if they're just there to replace 4 old characters that I've already grown to love over the years. Sure, maybe these younger characters bring in new players, but it completely disregards the feelings of longtime fans that are the ones that helped create this amazing community and helped make this game so popular in the first place. Some characters have even been directly replaced with machines, and it just feels so wrong, and it's something I never ever thought would happen in Animal Crossing. It's so awful as a long-time player to see this happen to our favourite characters. So the main thing I'd like to see improved upon in Animal Crossing New Horizons is to bring these characters back. New players would love to meet them, old players would love to be with them again, and it would give the game so much more depth, immersion, reasons to play, and possibly even bring back that magic feeling from the first time you played. So that was my top 10 things I'd like to see added into Animal Crossing New Horizons. Let me know what you thought of my list, and please let me know what things you'd like to see added into the game. And maybe I'll make a video talking about all your top things you'd like to see improved upon in Animal Crossing New Horizons. And who knows, maybe we'll get some more information soon, maybe at E3, maybe some of these things will be added into the game. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider clicking the like button and consider subscribing, because it really does help me out. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping make this video possible and being so lovely and generous and wanting to support me. I love you guys, and to everyone else, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a super lovely day, and I'll speak to you in my next video. Bye!